father was a physician also. He came here, and in fact, my grandfather was the one responsible for him coming to Lawton.
Oh, really? And you told me that you went to school at Fitz.
I went to Fisk in 1960 to 62.
Was you part of the Freedom Riders?
No. At that time, I wasn't that, but it was involved. They tried their best, but I couldn't take the hit and the stone and
Now, what came about getting the Owen Center named after your father? How did that actually happen? How did that come about?
Well, that was a group. I think it was a group of guys back in the day that named Pride Inc.
Okay.
And we tried to get it named after several black people, and they never would. In fact, they named it after somebody else, and we went to the city council and the mayor and had them take that name off.
Oh, wow.
But I think the Mayor Gilley was responsible for naming the building after my father.
So how long has it been named after Dr. Owens?
Ooh, I don't know. I can't remember how long. It's been over 20 years.
Yeah. Because I know my mom, she said she used to always go to the Owen Center when she was younger. And a lot of people, they know the Owen Center. I mean, especially if you originated here in Lawton, Oklahoma, or Southwest Oklahoma, you know somewhat of the Owen Center by far. But, understanding the history and understanding who the person's name and what that individual actually did in our community is something that I think that we have to do a better job of in the African American community of educating these individuals on, look, this person came before you, even though you can't see them, even though you can't shake their hand, and even though they've been passed on years before you were able to even get here. This is what they did to pave the way for you to even have the opportunity to come here and shoot a basketball around or play some type of extracurricular activity.
Let me add a little bit more about the struggle back during the days of Dodo Park. I think Reverend Jones, Reverend N.H. Jones, L.K. Jones, and my father and my mother were responsible for that Dodo Park.
Dodo Park, yeah.
But anyway, they picketed Dodo Park at the time, and there was some word that after picketing from the Oklahoma City group coming down, that they opened it up, but that's a falsity because the man who owned it shut it down. He shut it down and closed it down because he didn't ever want took dirt and threw it in the swimming pool to keep us from swimming in that pool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's
all the doors closed.
All the doors closed up, and then eventually, I think his son or somebody, they sold it, and somebody opened it up and allowed us to go to the skating rink.
Oh, wow.
That's all we could do is go to the skating rink.
Really?
And that was back in the 70s.
Oh, 7. I mean, but even now, I think now, we still see a lot of those parks and a lot of those things that your father and a lot of other community leaders across Southwest Oklahoma really came together and actually had some influence in that. And you're still seeing those parks today. And some of them are still being threatened to be shut down. Some of them are still being threatened to be, kind of be thrown aside and just kind of thrown away. But you're seeing still some individuals and prominent leaders like Dr. Johnson, Albert Johnson Sr., who's still alive and able to kind of, support those efforts and making sure that those things are staying apart. So, hey, we want to thank you. We want to thank you for coming, as well as we want to thank your father for being a leader in our community and making sure that we're having those opportunities.
Don't forget L.K. Jones, the grandfather.
My grandfather.
L.K. Jones. Oh, okay. Was he a minister?
Yes, he was a retired warrant officer. My grandfather, Dr. L.K. Jones, was a retired warrant officer from the military, and he was the pastor of Galilee Baptist Church.
Galilee Baptist Church. L.K. Jones. Yeah.
We grew up with the marches. Every time he went somewhere, we went. Our parents had to have us there. So at any of the rallies and any of the marchings that we had to do or that he had set up, we were required to be there. Our parents had to have us there with the marches and everything. So it was enlightening.
And now that you're older and you're able now to, put that wisdom upon your grandchildren, are you able to do that and tell them, hey, your grandfather or your great-grandfather were some important individuals in this community?
And I think that's some of the concerns I have, because we grew up with my grandfather he was a bold person, and he stepped out there, stepped out in front, and he didn't hesitate to say what he thought was right. And so most of us were generally trained in that aspect. So when a lot of people meet us, they think we're very assertive. But we got that from my grandfather.
Right.
When you spoke up and you stood up. There was no shame, as they say, in your game, and you had to speak your opinion. And so a lot of people think we're very opinionated. Right. And I think I am opinionated, and I speak for what I have to say. And we try to instill that in the young children that we work with. My grandfather worked with youth, and we're still trying to do those things to help our youth to get from point A to point B.
Yes.
And what I realize is that our children don't stay here. Yeah. Once they graduate from high school here in Lawton, they don't stay because they don't see us progressing in this city. We can't even get them to go into education anymore because they tell us, why go into education? Because I don't see people like me.
Exactly.
So why would I do education? And you try to tell them we need you because, like Dr. Munson, myself, and Dr. Owens, we're off the scene. We're going home now. And we have none of our children to come in and step in our footsteps. So it's
a sad day.
It is a sad day.
It's a sad day. I think, even me, I got out of education just to, because I just didn't see a promise. I didn't see it. It was an opportunity, but it just wasn't fulfilling opportunity. I thought there was too much things behind the scenes that I would have to maneuver in order for me to even be able to be successful. And I'm not willing to do that, especially when we have a community that is still in a lack of when it comes towards education, just off of just knowing things and not being ignorant towards just certain information. I thought that it was a great opportunity to go out and advance my efforts in educating the public, not just even students, but also just the public itself. Because I also feel that a part of education starts at the house, and if your mom and dad ain't educated, then that kid will not be educated as well. So let's talk to the pioneer. She was my mentor. Kind of saw her and still kind of sees her as one of my grandmother, who helped shape me into being the man that you see today. Dr. Muntz. How you doing, Dr. Muntz?
I'm fine.
She actually taught my mom too in English, which is cool. Which is real cool. And my mom always said, Dr. Muntz don't play. She don't play at all. So yeah, you are the overseer of Kudos and Zenos, correct?
Right.
All right, and I was a part of Kudos, and I remember around this time we would go to conference and go to different places. And this time conference is here in the city of Lawton. Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Let me tell you a little bit about Kudos and Zenos. These are young people that are in grades 9 through 12. We teach them how to speak, how to stand up, how to dress, how to look people in their eyes, how to be able to communicate. We teach them about dressing. So if you pay attention, most of the time in the schools, they dress up once a week in shirt and tie. And that's to let them know the boys call themselves men of distinction.
Yes.
And so that's how they are to present themselves. In this conference that we have, and this conference has been going on for 46 years for the girls and 36 years for the boys. First time that it's come to Lawton, Oklahoma in almost 20 years. So we're glad to see it here. We want to thank the Chamber of Commerce and Cameron University, Lat's Bus, and Blood Bank, and the many other places that have come together to give us things to put in our bags. But I wish that the whole community could see all that we do when we come to this conference.
Yes.
These kids are competing in all areas. They have oratorical that we have to get them ready for. They have debate that we get them ready for. They have arts and crafts. They have step show. It's wonderful to know that African American kids can do more than shoot a gun.
Yes, exactly correct.
These are intelligent beings. We also acknowledge them for their academics. We will have at least 75 kids that make 4.0 or better.
Yes.
Not to say that there's not some other kids that are making the honor roll, but these are the 4.0 kids that we recognize that go far and beyond. The seniors have to stand and give their names and tell where they're going to college and what they're pursuing. So we get them ready. They've got 4 years to stay with us. We try to mold them, get them ready for their resumes, show them how to fill out applications for college. We do all of those kinds of things. So it's a very worthy organization. The problem here in Lawton is we have nowhere to meet. We can't meet in the schools unless we pay them to meet. We can't meet here unless we pay them to meet. It is a non-profit organization, and the thing about it, we are all teachers and educators. Isn't that something?
Yeah.
We are the teachers and the educators, yet we can't use a school building to take care of kids that attend their schools. The kids in this community that are in Kudos and Zenos do a lot of volunteer work. You don't believe it? Go to the Philharmonic.
Yeah.
We're there ushering every time they have the Philharmonic. Anybody else who calls us to do anything, we're doing it. We even volunteer at the schools, Lawton Public Schools. But yet and still, we've got to pay to use the building. We don't have any money. Anybody out there have a solution, please call me. My name is Dr. Cheryl Montz. I'm willing to listen to anybody, and we need a place to meet.
All right. Well,
Thank
hey,
you.
Thank you.
Oh, this is the Southwest region. And we have our regional director who's also from Lawton, Oklahoma, who was also a former educator, is Dr. Sylvia Williams. And she's over 4 different states, over Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Louisiana. Thank you for this opportunity.